Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share, and play.
Hello everyone, I'm here because I was tagged by the beautiful and incredibly talented Leigh over at Leigh Creates, and she was tagged in a collaboration that Carrie, the paper monkey, runs, and it's called Tag Your Turn. So, coming up next, I've decided that I'm going to tag my beautiful friend, crafty chick Kathy. Now, Kathy's over in Canada and she has a gorgeous YouTube where she started logging her flip-throughs on her junk journals, and she is a very talented junk journaler. So I highly suggest you go and check out her channel and get some beautiful ideas from the videos that she puts up. Anyhow, this is me having a go at Tag Your It. Now, you know me, I can't do, whenever I do a prompt or anything or a collab or anything, I always have to kind of try and find some different way, some way to think outside the box. So this time I'm thinking outside the circle. I decided I'd do some circle tags. Don't know why, I'm really into doing little circle tags and medallions and all sorts of things lately. Started out when I was doing Ephemera, and I just keep cutting tags in circles and little frames of circles, and then I put those onto the tags and look, watch the video, you'll see what I'm doing. So here, I'm actually putting them through my die cuts. What I love is when I put it through my die cut, I can actually cut some fabrics if they're stiff enough. And I've done this in a few layers just to make sure that the fabric cuts. But this is just calico, and I love that. I love being able to get a nice shape out of calico. So look, I'm just cutting some different size circles. Here I am sticking down with a piece of masking tape. And what you saw me doing there is if you just do that, use your leg or your arm, like on a piece of clothing, picks up a little bit of the dust, and it means that it doesn't stick to the paper quite as much. Although I didn't do it enough here because it did tear a little bit of my cardboard, but for what I'm doing, that is no problem. But see how putting the two circles together makes little frames. I know I've shown you this before in some of the other videos I've done recently, but hey, let's see that again. So I did frames in all different little fabrics. Here I'm doing some really large ones on the backing. So again, you can do a similar thing with your regular circle punches. And if you don't have any of these, goodness me, you can use scissors. Grab a jar, cut, draw a circle by using the jar, draw the bottom of, use a pencil, drawing around the bottom of the circle is what I'm trying to say. And then use your scissors to cut it out. Now here I've got a larger circle that I've hole punched with one size, and then I'm hole punching on a smaller size to cut a circle out. Now you do have to be a bit careful. See how on this one I actually tore the edge of it when I punched it out. But that just gives you the idea and the concept. So now all I'm doing is I'm actually sticking down my different little layers of circles to make little tags. So when I put my glue down, I'm just using art glitter glue because it was the closest I had. But when I put it down, I just use my little pinky finger to spread out the glue. Now, I often use my pinky finger. You'll notice my hands always get really messy, really glued up, but I try and remember to use my pinky finger if I'm spreading glue, because then you can kind of hold your pinky out. Like you're having a really posh cup of tea. You hold your pinky out and then you don't mess up your work and you can keep using all your fingers that you need. But then on this one, pop some calico behind it, put a little music frame, and then I just put down a little butterfly and a word. And there you go, the tag is finished. So all I'm doing now is I'm just going to hole punch the top. So I had some ring reinforcers handy that were just still white. So all I did was I just inked over them. Again, you can use coloured pencils. Lately I'm actually even putting some embossing powder over them so that I can have them a bit metallic, all sorts of things. put some stamps over them. They look really cool. Like, if you get a script to stamp and you stamp a page of ring reinforcers, that can look really cool too. So it just adds a little bit of something around the edge. And you'll notice I actually inked around the edge of the hole that I punched out because my ring reinforcers are invariably just slightly bigger than the hole I punch. So, it's a little bit less, it blends it in a little bit is what I'm trying to say. So there's number one. So pretty quick and easy. I did do a bit of fussing to try and work out how I was going to make them look, but then I just went for it. And once you get into the rhythm, you'll find that they'll be quicker to put together. And I always end up with leftover rings and circles. So, we're going to have to do some ideas, aren't we, on how to use them up. Sometimes they're just good sticking down on a page or off the edges of pages and things just to add a little bit of something, something. All right, here's the next one. Bit of calico behind it. And I'm using one of those off-centre circles. I actually really like cutting my frames off centre. Now, there's a double advantage in that. To get them exactly central is actually quite tricky. So if you make them a little bit more off centre, even when you're die cutting them, then if they are slightly off, they look better than if they're slightly off. If they're slightly off, they can look like you've, made a mistake. Whereas if you just nudge it a little bit more, it looks like you meant to do it that way. So that's just one of my little tricks for my laziness. Here's the next one, going through, just doing the hole punch in the top and putting my little ring reinforcer on. So thank you, Leigh, for tagging me in this. I was a bit stuck this week. I am so busy. We're getting in new support workers. We're trying to organise, how we help J Bear getting some work experience now that, he's 15, almost 16. And with the, the no speech and all those sorts of things, that's just going to take a lot longer. We've had to, since he started having his seizures, we've, struggled to get his medications right. So it's been such a busy week, and having this little tag was wonderful because it meant it got me at the creative desk, gave me a moment to myself, gave J Bear a moment without me. I was able to chit-chat to his big brother, Agent H as we call him. Agent H was actually with a girlfriend of mine who I met when we both had our first babies. And we called our children Agent H and her child is Agent J. We called that because in the middle of the night we swore that they were getting together. They both seemed to wake up in the middle of the night, and we got to know each other so well that we'd occasionally text each other in the middle of the night when you're doing those night feeds, not being able to settle your baby back and all that sort of thing. And, as soon as we had something planned, they'd get sick, and so we couldn't go. So we were always saying, they're ganging up on us. They're secret agents, actually. They're not really babies. So, yeah, that was our bizarre sense of humour. Anyway, there you go. More of my life that you didn't need to know. Sorry, chit-chatting away. Here, I forgot to tell you, I just used the edge of those pieces of calico. I just cut some strips and I decided I'd use those as the tag toppers. So really easy. I love the look. Every time you do these, they always turn out just a little bit different. I love to look so much that I just actually glued them so that I didn't even staple them. You know how I love using my staples. But this time I just glued them. I didn't even want them knotted. I just thought, look, lovely and flat, and they can sit in any journal. So I really hope that you enjoyed this. And Kathy, if you feel like participating as well, then, you can just copy what I've got in my description and tag somebody else. Or, you don't even need to do a video. You could actually do it just for yourself, an idea to just make a tag. Hope you all enjoy. Please check out Leigh as well and check out Paper Monkey. So take care. Here's just some close-ups of the final little tags that I did. I ended up doing 3. I was going to do 4. I was going to do 1, but you had to get all 3. Take care, everyone. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy!